All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I really appreciate this. 1, 2, 3. All right, people, listen up. This is Will Cloud. Before we begin, I got to tell my future guests, everyone has to step up their game because this gentleman brought, not bourbon, what is this? Cognac.
Yes, sir.
He's not bringing the cheap stuff. He's an artist. He did this for me. I'm going to zoom in on this later. And then, knowing that I'm a vodka drinker, the man brought me a bottle of vodka and not the cheap stuff. And a cigar. I tried the cigar. Which, dude, I would smoke in a heartbeat in here. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about that later. And a cigar. Should we smoke the cigar?
We don't have to. You don't smoke inside. I understand.
Wait, hold on. I may take this out. Do you normally? That'd be kind of cool. I don't think I have any ashtrays. I've never smoked a cigar. And let's fuck it. Hold on. Let's do it. We're gonna stop this. We're gonna stop this.
Fuck it.
We are gonna do this.
You want to really kind of wrap your mouth around, like.
Ah, okay.
And once you puff, you let it hit your tongue, and then take a sip of your cognac.
So the idea is all taste. I'm a beer guy, and this, I'll tell you what this is. This is great conversation stuff.
Yeah.
All right, real quick before we even begin, tell me about the cigar. It's 2 different cigars.
Yes, sir. This is a cow. Mostly, this is it has a more, I guess, woodsy chocolate taste.
Okay.
I think this one my wife bought them for me. Let me see what it is.
Yeah.
This one.
And the idea is you keep the labels on, right?
Yes, sir. This is a Renvat. So this one is more. You should get more of a vanilla hint. Probably, or it's more. It's a lighter.
Yeah, because it's a lot of smoke, but it's not. Doesn't feel like it's heavy.
It's not a heavy smoke.
And it's funny you say vanilla. It's like when they do wine, they talk about these different attributes or whatever, and I'm like, I never taste that. So, but I know what you mean. It's kind of it's more of an example. It's more of a description than an actual taste.
I mean, you can. It's a hint. You can taste that. I mean, because I can taste the nuttiness in this one. And
again, this guy's classing it up. Can you give me an idea, if you don't mind, what is this bottle of?
It's Hennessy VSOP.
What's that go for?
Probably like $60, $70 a bottle.
Okay.
I drank Hennessy at the Louis XVI, 13th. Goes for like $350 for a shot.
For a shot?
Yeah. The bottles is like $3,500.
Holy! All right. So years ago, I was at Ruth's Chris. You ever had? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And on their the drinks, they had a shot of cognac, like 125, and I was laughing like, man, 120, and then here you are talking 300 or something. And the cigars, talking about the cigars. What kind of what's the price range for something like this?
These probably run anywhere from about $9 to $11. I don't smoke anything really cheaper, cheap. Most expensive I smoked is probably about a $40 cigar.
See a big difference between that and one of these? Are these your favorites?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. My favorite is Macanudo Padron.
Padron, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Because a friend of mine who does cigars, he probably told me about it.
Yeah, so those are my favorites.
All right, so let me say this first of all. So I've interviewed a lot of people, and one of the coolest things about what I do over the last 12 years, shooting video and interviewing, I've met people at the very, very beginning where they're not there yet, but it's at the very beginning. I'm like, man, if I would have known. I promise you people, so what's today's date? September 1st, 2023?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have to check in with you as fast as you go, probably a couple of months, but I imagine within a year or two, dude, this guy's at the very beginning. It's not the beginning, you're beyond the beginning. Well, let's go into your story. Where are you today? You're an artist, tell me a little bit about that.
Basically I love art. I mean, I've always had, I got in trouble drawing in school, and I'm from a country town, and the teacher, everybody knows my family, and my dad passed when I was 9, so I have the mom that like everybody knew that did not like play.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter who you were, so all my teachers, small towns like my social study teacher was my coach. Well, he was the athletic trainer.
Oh wow, because small town.
Small town. So one day I I always think I know everything. So I was doodling, and he saw me. He walks back to the back of the class, and he opened my book, and I'm like, oh crap, you're gonna go tell my mom, because they would tell her. And he took me to the art teacher.
Took you to the art teacher.
And showed her my picture I was doodling. And the next.
How old are you? How old are you about?
I'm a freshman in high school.
Oh,
and
dude,
and,
that's cool.
and
That's a good teacher.
the art teacher signed me up for art next semester.
Wow.
And she told me to draw this picture. I still remember, it's called a cockfight. It was two roosters fighting. And she entered into the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and I won first place.
Get out of town.
Yep.
Any art training?
No.
See? Dude, that's a great. First of all, your teacher could have been a typical teacher. Nothing against teachers, but could have been like, hey, you're drawing my class. Oh, dude, that's too cool.
Yeah.
So today, what are you doing art-wise?
Well,
And I'm going to show some of it on the screen, but talk about what you do.
Basically, I'm into photorealism. I do everything from pop art to contemporary.
What's photorealism?
Photorealism is basically where people, I go out and I draw and make it look like it's a photo. Like, say, picture, a photo.
Yeah.
Basically, I would make the art look exactly like that.
Really?
Exactly. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
And no training. You have no training. Have you had training since this is what you love to do? Have you gone for training?
No. I just sit and I talk to my wife about, hey, I look, she's my biggest critic. I mean, either if it's good, she's gonna say it. If it's bad, she's gonna say it.
Yeah.
So when I get into something or I want to do something, I start studying it for myself. But now, my wife owns a hair studio, so I have art in there, and her clients buy it. People know people to say, hey, can you draw this? Can you draw this? I feel very honored when people ask me to draw like a family member that passed on or something like that.
Yeah.
Because basically I have to and then it's a lot of stress because I have to make that person look just like that person.
Yeah. So we got to back up here just for a second. So this is what you're doing today. You've had a trucking company that you sold how long ago? When did you start it?
I started in 2019.
And then you sold that, and then you got into art,
Yes,
which
sir.
we're going to talk about in a second. But let's talk about right prior to 2019, because this is the resilience part. I do this channel because there are people that have been through things that are out there watching this. Some of the people have not really been through too many tough things, but they think they have. That's why I love sharing stories like yours. So 2019, you started your own trucking company. Now you're doing art. You and I talked off camera about what you're looking to do in the future. Where were you prior to July of 2019?
Incarcerated.
Incarcerated for how long?
6 years.
6 years. Do you mind sharing why you were there?
CEO of a brokerage firm, and got charged with a $1 million fraud, misappropriation of fiduciary financial property.
Wow. So you go in. When did you go in? 2013, somewhere around there.
Yes, sir.
Did you have anyone in your life at the time? Did you have a wife, girlfriend, or anything at the time?
No, none but my mom and siblings.
Okay.
That's it.
And what's your educational background? Because for you to have it,
Went to Rice University. Spent 12 years in the Navy.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't have to share this. Do you mind sharing? Again, dude, you don't have to share it. But why you did? Because I'm assuming you were making a pretty good living.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just trying to get in your head set. Was the temptation just like, wow, I'm making a pretty good living, but and I'm going to paraphrase this, maybe terribly, we can pull it out. But man, if I can get away with this, that's a really good living.
Well, and greed.
Okay.
I can just tell you, I have no problem because now I know myself. And that's the biggest point of resilience. When you know yourself, you can fight through anything.
Yeah, good point.
See, a lot of people don't know themselves and they don't know what they can get through until they've been through something. And, you know, I was raised, I mean, loving family, mom, dad, you know, loved, you know, dad died when I was 9. My mom, single parent, never got remarried. But, so it wasn't an excuse of saying, wasn't a man in the house. And even after, never been in trouble, but even after I got incarcerated, you know, I made a point to tell my mom, like, hey, you did wonderful as a mother. This is a grown man's decision.
Smart, dude.
It wasn't, so don't think nothing you done has in, you know, something I done because of why I'm here.
Yeah.
I came here on my own because it's decisions that I made, not nothing about me being raised.
Yeah.
Because I was raised to say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, you know.
Yeah, dude, I could tell that you're extremely well-mannered and...
Yeah, so it wasn't, you know, I wasn't allowed to run the streets, you know. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't allowed to do certain things that other kids, well, you know, at that time that we thought was cool. You know, I remember my mom bought me a car when I was like 16. And she's like, if I catch you with these guys in that car, you're gonna park that car and catch the bus.
Excellent.
So, I
good
always was
upbringing.
by myself.
Yeah. Well, you know, you just said something. I had a guy here. Oh man, his name is skipping me. He had issues and everything. He'd been in jail and stuff. And he said just what you said. He said, you know, you do something wrong, just take blame for it, because you have to be able to take. If it's something that you did, you've got to be able to stand up like a man, say this is my fault.
You have to, for me, and I mean, and I used to try to tell people this. It's not just taking the saying that, oh, I'm sorry I done it. You have to figure out why. Because if the problem is still there, whatever reason, whatever you've done, if you don't figure out why, and figuring out why becomes to breaking yourself down to nothing.
So like really evaluating who you are.
Nah, I mean, you got to break yourself down to crap. Like, sit alone by yourself and where you think of stuff that you've done where you embarrassed and don't nobody know but you and God.
Okay. So you did this in jail? Because you're
Oh, yeah, and it wasn't because of, you know, I was raised in the church, so I have a very spiritual background. And it wasn't nothing, you know, I wasn't a person, oh, I went to jail and found God. No, it was already there.
No, I mean as far as evaluating.
No, what I'm saying, that evaluation starts with a spiritual foundation.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe in. But basically, I fine-tuned that. And then I started looking at myself. And I started evaluating why. What was it about? What made me do what I do? Why? You know?
Yeah.
So basically, like I said, I came up with the fact that it was just out of greed. You know, I tell some of the younger guys that, you know, seriously, I mean, I played on a level of the game that guys nowadays, they look up to. And it's not easy because it takes one mindset to make money and another mindset to keep the money.
Oh, that's well said. I like that.
Yeah, so, you know, I think in 2002, 2001, I would go, you know, I was hanging out with Texas cheerleaders, Rockies cheerleaders. You know, I was driving this type of car, had this type, whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
I would go to the club, like, while these guys now, they, you know, I was spending $3-4 grand a night just drinking. I didn't have a drug problem.
Oh,
I just
my
like
God.
to drink.
Wow.
You know, I would, so, you know, and then you think, here I am living in $1 million house, got 3-4 houses downtown.
Dude.
To a point where now I'm living in a bathroom with a dude.
Yeah.
So that'll humble yourself.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And nobody that can tell me, if you haven't been through nothing, like, believe me, it's coming. Like you say, health, whether it be health-wise, I'm not saying, and people can, you know, say, oh, well, you've been in prison. That's the best thing could have happened to me.
Best thing, explain that.
Because the life I was living, I could have killed myself. You know, I mean, I would drive home. I living in Pearland. I would drive home and don't remember even driving. So basically, I was almost on a road to self-destruction.
Yeah.
So and to get my bearings right was the prison experience. For me to get myself to sit down and evaluate myself, because I didn't have time. I tell the average person, go in your bathroom, leave your phone out here, and go in your bathroom and sit there for 24 hours. No distractions.
Go ahead. So what's the mindset behind that? Or what's the
mindset? Because you start thinking about everything. Because in today's society, we have so many distractions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it be our businesses, our family, just outside influences, friends, the world,
Yep.
whatever, news. Go sit in your bathroom by yourself, because that's basically the size of a cell almost, and sit there. And mind you, I did this for 6 years. So I said 24 hours. The average person couldn't even do it for 24 hours.
Yeah. Your first couple of nights, if you don't mind, your first couple of nights in jail?
Cried. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna and it wasn't even about scary. It was more about, how did I get here? What do I do to, you could get in trouble as a kid, and you call my mom and she come get me. Couldn't nobody call my mom. My mom couldn't come get me.
Yeah.
So it was like, now here it is. I got to deal with this.
How old are you?
I'm 48. I just turned 48 on the 19th of August.
Did you lose everything when you went to jail? Houses? I mean, what did you, when you came out, what did you have, I guess is my question.
I had money saved. But yeah, houses, cars. A lot of people, that's when you find out who your friends are
I was
too.
just going to say, you probably lost people for sure.
Yeah, people don't bother me none, because they showed me where you was at and what you was around. Well, I knew it, and like, I guess it kind of sounds arrogant a little bit, but a lot of people around me was my gestures.
When you have money, I imagine.
But no, it's like I knew it, so I would have you around me too, for whatever I needed.
Yeah.
Whether it's protect me when I'm drunk, because I know you were, or was it to make me laugh? But when I go home, nobody knew where I stayed. Nobody come to my house.
By choice? By your choice?
My choice.
Okay.
Because I leave you where I found you, out in the street, and I used you for you thought you was using me, but I was using you because basically I was getting whatever I needed, and if basically I got money, so if you just want to be around me to drink and have fun, but I have you around me to
entertain your
entertain, I'm fine with that. That
was the will then.
Yeah.
Today, you got your wife. Tell me about your wife a little. How'd you guys meet?
Oh, my wife, she does hair and Katie. She has her own salon. So it was my birthday. My sister was, she did my sister's hair. And so my sister, we had a little barbecue at my sister's house. And my sister invited her over.
Just a friend? No setup, just...
No, she showed a picture, and she like, well, we gonna barbecue at my house tonight, and she's like, you want to come by? And she started not to come, and she ended up coming, and been my best friend ever since.
How long you guys married?
We've been married since May of last year.
Okay.
So we just made a year. And then you see the rings. Like the black lines. So basically, as you smoke, you want those like even. Like
even,
that.
Okay.
That shows every time you pull.
Okay. I wonder if you could use this as a lie detector. You give a guy a cigar, and if the rings are close, you know he's nervous. They're further away. All right, you just said you met your wife. I got to ask questions. So I have a girlfriend, but when I was first getting online, I did all sorts of stuff. Mm-hmm. And my concern was, the girl's going to ask me about how many times I've been married. I've been married twice. Okay. And that's a hard thing to, when they ask you that, because you have to explain. Because a lot of people have been married once. Twice, if I'm a woman, or the opposite, you're wondering, why was that person married twice? So that was a concern of mine. You meet this girl, And now she's, what, what do you do? Where have you been? And you met her, how long were you out when you met her?
About a year.
About a year. Do you remember that conversation? You saying, listen, I got to tell you something about me, or?
Oh, I mean, I tell everybody the same thing. Hey, I've been in prison. Hey. And then whatever questions you ask is get answered.
That's a great attitude.
Yeah. Because I tell, I know people have this, oh, you're a felon. No, I'm not. I have a felony. My mom always told me when I used to come home, they called me a punk at school. Baby, I didn't name you that. I named you Will. You're not who people call you. You're what you answer to.
Ooh, I like that. Wow, I like that.
So people say, hey, you're a felon. No, I'm not. I have a felony. And if people sit down and evaluate their life, especially the older we get, think about how many times that maybe you could have been there, or you could have, and people are like, well, I never would have done that. No, you can't tell me what you wouldn't have done, because you know why? You haven't been in that position.
Absolutely.
To even make that choice. So if you telling me that you have this certain lifestyle, I mean, like I told you, I'm living in $1 million house paying a $3,000 mortgage. I'm paying probably like 3 or 4 houses downtown that I'm paying another $3,000 on all these houses. And it's not that I wasn't making the money, but it was the lifestyle that I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted more.
Yeah.
Greed, like I said from the beginning, it wasn't about trying to, cover up something. No, it's just greedy. So now let's go to the fact that you have access to over $150 million.
Temptation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and it's no excuse. I mean, I'm not making excuses for it. Like you said, it's accepting responsibility, knowing what happened, where I went wrong, so you don't do it again. And I like the whole prison experience. It's nothing that I even like. People, a lot of people don't. I don't go around telling people. You ask, I tell you, or if it comes up, I'll tell you, or like this, I'll tell you. But
Yeah.
I don't go around, because my dad used to always tell me when I used to go through stuff, even at a young age, he would say, "You know why my windshield on my truck is so big?" I know. He's like, because you got to see where you're going. You know why those small windows on the side? It just remind you where you've been. And then read this fine print. It says objects may appear closer than what. You can't go forward looking backwards, is what he was saying.
Yeah.
It's a reminder, but it's not where you're going. And it's not, and like I tell people, anybody tells me that they haven't been through anything, or I really don't want to even be around you, because there's nothing you can teach me. You can't teach me, like you say, the resilience. You can't show me, hey, you can do it. How can you can't tell me, basically, like you can tell me how to have a successful marriage because you've been married.
Right.
Person that haven't been can't tell me that.
That's true.
So a person that hasn't been through anything can't tell me how to go through something.
That's right.
If your life is so perfect and you've never done nothing wrong, you've never done anything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I don't want the person that done everything right. Because I don't know if you remember the old commercial, the seatbelt commercial. You can learn a lot from a dummy.
No, I don't remember that. Oh, the seatbelt. That's right. Yes, that's right.
So teach me what not to do. I can figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Teach me what not to do.
Did you do this when you were inside? You had guys come? You were talking about some guys would come over and talk to you.
Yeah, I would always try to help.
How did they know to come to you, if you mind me asking? Because guys.
Well, basically, kind of the way I carried myself. I didn't deal with the whole prison mentality because it was just a place that I was at. So I didn't have to do a lot of stuff that a lot of guys was doing, so I just kind of stayed to myself. Everybody, I was nice. Everybody was cool with me. I never joined a gang.
Never joined a gang? Yeah.
Nah, never did. Almost. got into a fight behind that. Guys tried to get me to be in the gang.
Yeah.
And you know, so it's 3 guys tried to get me to join. And you know, the most dangerous man is a man that has nothing to lose. So at this point, I'm like, dude, I'm freaking 34 years old. I never joined the Boy Scout because I thought it was a gang at 10. So why the hell would I join a gang? So I was thinking like, hey, if I gotta fight these 3 dudes, I'm gonna fight, fuck them up.
Yeah.
You know, and this is just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's either they gonna get messed up or I'm gonna get messed up. But I wasn't. At this point, I'm just to a point where, hey, I'm at the low of the low. I have nothing to lose. So but they respected me after that. Never had that problem, you know.
Yeah.
So other than that, I mean, but 6 years, never had one fight.
Really? So you come out, again, so this is another great point of resilience. You come out, how long are you out before you have your trucking company?
About 6 months, 7 months.
How did you do that? How did you do that? Well, again, did you have some money aside to put towards that? Because again, you just came out of jail.
Well, that and the point of that, while I was there, I prepared myself. Didn't know, exactly when I'm getting released or making parole or what have you, but I know I had an end date.
Yeah.
So I knew that day I was gonna, whatever day that I was gonna get out, if it was parole or that full date.
Yeah.
I was leaving.
Yeah.
So I need to be prepared when I got out. So I spent a lot of time reading business books because, you know, being the CEO of a company, I've always been entrepreneur, been into business. So I spent my time doing that. Like I was on a unit where we had TVs in the cell, and whoever was my cellmate really liked it because I never wanted to watch TV because I spent all my time reading. So they had full range of the TV and whatever they wanted to watch. Because I spent time reading business book, philosophy, psychology. I wanted to figure out how I make my mind work, what makes me tick, what makes other people tick. Because what I've learned in that regard, life becomes a lot less stressful, especially in a place like that. Because, or even in the world, because you know why? If I know what makes you, not trying to figure out to manipulate you, but why you do what you do, then I sit and I understand. It don't bother me so bad because I understand why you do what you do.
You think a lot of times people, and I want to say something else, but let me say this just because of what you said. You think a lot of times people do get offended or mad or whatever because they think the other person's doing something specifically because they don't respect me or...
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's a whole prison mentality. So, it's not even just prison, it's people, period. Because if I don't say yes, sir, to you or no, sir, to you, or yes, ma'am, to your wife or no, ma'am, to your wife, you can say, oh, he doesn't respect us. Maybe I wasn't taught.
Right.
I mean, you know, there's something that is not about respect. I have the most of respect for you. I just never was taught it.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
So, I mean, if I step on your shoe and don't say excuse me, nobody ever taught me to say excuse me. So you can't put what you was taught and what your parents took the time to show you on me.
Oh, that's a good point.
But if you sat and you say, hey, why you don't respect my wife? You should just be kind of, yeah, no, Then you be like, oh, sorry. It was no disrespect. I just never was taught that.
Yeah.
Now look at your whole outlook change.
Absolutely. Great point.
Then you go to your wife after I leave and be like, Will's not such a bad guy. He just never was taught how to say yes, ma'am to women or
right.
open the door for a woman or.
All right, so that's a great point. This leads into exactly what we talked about on the phone a couple of days ago. People believe, they believe several things about people going to jail. We think those of us who have never been there and plan never to go there as best we can, right? Mm-hmm. It's punishment and it's also rehabilitation. What's the other word they use? Or maybe is it not rehabilitation? But basically you're supposed to go to jail and then come out and you're ready for the workforce and all this other stuff. They're supposed to teach you what we believe is what's the word I'm looking for? in other words, you go to jail, but you come out a better person.
Rehabilitated.
Okay, that's the word. All right, but you said.
Well, for one, everybody's been incarcerated.
Explain that.
Penitentiary means what? Penitence.
Ah, okay.
So if your mom said, "Hey, go stand in that corner," that's your penitentiary.
Okay.
Go to your room, that's your penitentiary.
Okay.
It's just levels of it.
Yeah.
But everybody's been somewhere they don't really want to be.
Ah, good point. Good point. But you had said when you were there.
Because you're supposed to go to that corner and repent, remember what you done, rehabilitate yourself, and come out a better person.
Right.
She sent you there for 5 minutes. You come out and do it again. Let's go back. Let's do it again for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So every time you go back, and now as you get older, now, okay, we go to prison. So no, everybody's been. So
Right.
no, it's not a place. It's upon. We have to, as people, if you want to do better, you have to take it upon yourself to do better.
But you said the jail system. I'm going to stop you here because you had said the jail system. They have the opportunity there, like you were getting books and everything else, but they don't. Tell me if I'm saying this right. They don't really kind of push the people, the prisoners, and say, hey, "Listen, guys, you're getting out in X amount of years or months. We have all these programs. Take it." They don't have people.
Yeah, they don't sit and say, "You don't have your GED." Okay, well, let's go and get your GED. Or you have to have your GED before you leave. They don't care if you just sit there and eat up taxpayer dollars. Because what it is that the only way the prison system really works is you got to have people in there.
Oh, you need the constant customers.
Yeah.
So you don't think that now there are people that come into the place, I would imagine, from either churches or organizations that offer. Do people come in from the outside?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
People come in and help. And like I said, it's still up to each individual. You can have all the help you want. And it's still up to each person to want to be better or do better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this there, but the people, no, they don't push you. They don't really, I guess, I'm not going to.
Say it.
I always say that TDC stands for they don't care. Because, not Texas Department of Corrections.
Yeah.
It's called, they don't care. I mean, they really don't care. I mean, so it's on you, and that's why I said I took it upon myself to become a better person, to do better for myself. You know, a lot of those guys, man, I sit back and I used to watch. You know, I remember one time we was in the day room and you know, they had a big thing. You know, everybody likes to play dominoes, so the guard was mad that day and he took the dominoes, and one of the guys ran to the door and asked for the captain of the unit, which is the guy that runs the unit. He's like third in charge, but he runs the unit. And he's like, he took my dominoes. That he came in. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, give them back their dominoes. That's how we keep them quiet.
Wow.
So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this. I mean, they're gonna give you what you want: TV, dominoes.
So these guys don't really care about the end result of
No.
Yeah.
No, they don't, and that's why I say it's up to us as people. It's there for you, but you have to take it upon yourself to want to do it. You know, ain't nobody coming in. There's no counselor coming in saying, "Hey, you know, you need to get." I mean, it's college, Texas A&M, U of H comes to the unit. You can get a degree from U of H.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's there, the opportunity's there, but if the guy's mindset's not there, they really should have, I mean, do you agree they should have something in the jail where they have, like you said, counselors or whatever saying, listen, we're going to push you, the opportunity's there, we're going to push you, we can't force you.
But what happens is, upon me reading and doing studies, if your level of education requires you to think better, most of these guys come to prison when they're like 18, 19.
Yeah.
Even I've seen 30-year-old guys walking around with their pants sagging, joining gangs or part of a gang at 30, 35 years old.
Yeah.
And like I used to tell them, if you're 18 and you've been locked up from 18 and now you're 29 or 30, right? you still have the mind of an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Because it's things that me and you have been through as men that has shaped our mental. I've had kids, I've been married, you've been married. It's things that we went through. You haven't experienced none of that to make you grow. So now you're 29. You've been here since since you was 19. So you still have the mindset of a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So now you get out, you're making 19-year-old choices, which now you really need to be making 29-year-old choices.
Not 19-year-old choices, and the last 10 years you've been inside of a place where everything is controlled. I mean, the outside world is...
The guys just get mad because I told them, I say, y'all are so screwed up to where if you walked in McDonald's, you was standing there looking at the menu because you've been told what to do. You cannot even make a choice. You see all the different hamburgers and can't figure out which one you want.
Yeah.
Because just a simple choice like that. So how can you make big choices?
Yeah. Yep.
That's overwhelming to you because somebody, and one thing that I never done while I was incarcerated, I never followed the rules.
What do you mean you never follow the rules?
Never followed the rules. Like walking down the hallway, I would do stuff like walk in the middle of the hallway. I never wanted to become institutionalized. Like
really? You didn't get in trouble for that?
No, everybody knew me. The warden knew me. Everybody. In fact, I basically they had me in an office in supply where I shipped all the supplies coming off the unit and all the supplies coming in the unit. And all the warden and everybody would come in the office and be like, "Y'all got the wrong man on the computer."
Wow, dude. So has there anything 6 years, I'm assuming you must have seen some bad shit happen just because you're in a place like, what do you mean no?
No.
I mean, you refuse to see it, or?
No, I never saw it. Prison isn't like, I'm not saying that they don't have, most of those units that you see on TV is like, they go by kind of like an age group. So if you're like 18, they're gonna put you with all 18-year-olds. Those are those type of places that you see on TV.
Okay.
When you're gonna be, man, it's guys where I was at walking around on walkers and wheelchairs and crap like that.
Okay.
Oxygen tanks. And, everybody's just going to rec and, school and sitting up watching TV. That's it.
Okay.
Then it goes on severity of your crime and all that kind of stuff. And
so my question was, is there anything that you being inside, coming from where you are, who you are, your mindset, the way you've grown up, was there anything in there that you were like, shit, this is bad?
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Mm-hmm. Being there was enough.
Yeah.
It didn't have to take nobody seeing nobody get raped, seeing nobody getting stabbed, and nothing like that. Okay. It's just being there, being away from my family, being away from my kids. That made me want to fight. That made me want to do better.
You want to talk about the day you actually got out? We're going to talk about it next segment. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. The day I got out, my sister comes to pick me up and go to my mom's, and my mom was all happy, and she was like, we was having a joke because I'm the only boy, and she's like, baby, please don't do nothing to go back. I say, Mom, you'll go to prison before I go. So she was like, yeah, you're not going back because I know you'll do anything for me. You're right. So I'm just showing you the level of, no, I won't even go for you. So no, and it was just a sense of relief and freedom, feeling free. And like I say, we only incarcerated to me in our mind because, like I say, people living out here, though, like in there, everybody uses this term, the free world. When I get to the free world, it's like, that's not the free world. I say, you in the free world. Your laundry is paid for. Your food is paid for. You get to watch cable. I say, when them people out there got rules to follow, bills to pay, that's not free out there. They can't do what they want to do.
Wow. I never saw it that way.
So, no, this isn't the free world. It's the world different from what you're in, but it's not free.
you had an incredible life before. Went to jail for 6 years. Started a trucking company. Now you're doing art. Can we talk about what you want? Because I believe what you and I talked about. If you don't mind talking about it on video, I believe you're going to be there. And I want to show some pictures of this guy. When were these pictures taken? The ones you were showing me. Because I'm going to put them on screen.
About a year ago, 2 years ago. Two years ago.
Tell me what your dreams are going forward, if you don't mind, since you have a love of cigars and cognac and.
Basically, I want to be a cigar ambassador to teach people to smoke, how to pair, how to basically, educate how the different types, and I'm teaching myself now how to self-roll.
How to self-roll, and you'd like to have that where once you get it, you show people how to roll their own cigars, which would be kind of cool.
Or people can just sit and watch me do it.
Yeah. And you'd like to have a? Do you go to cigar lounges now?
Yeah. Me and my wife, ultimate goal is to have a cigar lounge.
Now wait, was your wife into cigars at all before she met you?
No.
So now she's in there. She's doing cigars. She knows her stuff.
Yeah, she's learning. Cool. One thing about her, and I praise her for. Like, she will, like, if I say I want to do something, either she's going to support me or she's going to find out and figure out and learn with me.
Really?
Yeah. So she's very supportive. That's why I call her my best friend, because we do everything together.
Dude, that is awesome. And you'd like to someday have your own. You want to talk about that at all? About what you envision? And dude, if not, if you want to come.
Not too much to envision.
Okay, no problem. But it's big. As I'm saying, I'm going to say I knew you when. I really do believe that. Okay, how about advice for a guy who just because this will be on YouTube. So obviously in the jail, this may sound like a really stupid question. Do they have access to the internet? Can they watch that, or is it just TV?
It's just TV.
Okay.
But anybody getting out, all I can tell them is that think of yourself as a salmon in the stream. I mean, everybody's going this way, but you got to go back the other way, and it's hard swimming against.
Go back the other way. Explain that.
Because like everybody's going this way, and you have to be different. I can't do the things you do. If it's simple as like protecting your family with a firearm.
Ah, yeah, good point.
So I can't do what you do. I can't, it's almost like, so you have to almost make better choices, and you have to be vigilant of your choices. If me and you was buddy and we was hanging out all the time, I don't want to really be out. Like, I don't go out, like, and I'm not saying that, but I've done it enough, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but, you still have to watch, because you get in a fight, and me and you friends, I'm not going to let you fight by yourself.
Right.
So I get in a fight.
And now, because you're still on probation.
No, I'm off.
But, no.
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
But even the fact that you have a felony.
Yeah.
And now that's like 2 strikes.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, even if you just got out, you're.
But even if you just got out, but you just have to always swim the other way, and it's hard. It's hard even saying when your friends, the guys, because most of these guys get out and they go right back to the same hood or the same street corner.
That's right.
You have to like change your whole dynamics, your whole playground. If you got to put those old toys away and start playing with new toys or new people.
I imagine that's hard for 2 reasons. First of all, you like to go back to what you were comfortable with, number one, and they're your friends, and you have to basically cut that out, right? Cut that out, and you probably have friends that are saying, "Man, Will, you're out. Let's hang out," and you're like,
"Oh yeah," but you have to learn, and I tell my wife all the time, I don't even have friends, honestly. Never have. I have associates, people I know.
What do you mean never have? Even back in your day, way before?
Never hung out with people like that.
Really?
I have a younger cousin and my nephew, that was my best man. Those are like, and their family. Those are like my best friends and my wife. But I've never ever, like, it's guys that was in my wedding that I probably ain't talked to in like 6-7 months.
Really?
And I've been knowing him for years. One guy I've been knowing since 96.
So, dude, here's what I don't understand about that. I know you for, what, an hour? And you seem like the type of guy that is a true friend. Right? And there are a few people in the world like that. Like, I have a bunch of people I know, but I have very few. I have a bunch of friends, but I have a couple of people that I'm really close to. But, man, you choose them wisely. You seem like you would be that type of guy. So why is this not... And these guys, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about the guys in the wedding, but is it something that, forgive me for saying this, are you pushing them? Are you pushing them?
I've always been like that because it don't take us to talk every day to be friends. A true friend, I'm going to know you're there for me if I call you.
Yeah.
You're going to answer, you're going to come running. So that's how I am, and these guys know that.
Okay.
So I don't have to call you every day. Like one of my friends, but one of the guys that was in the wedding, he's like, him and his friend, they go out and party all the time together. And he was like, man, this dude be tripping, and every time we go out, he arguing. I said, you know why? Y'all hang out too much. He said, I've been knowing you since 96, and me and you ain't never had side words. I said, because y'all hang out too much. When we see each other, we happy to see each other.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, it's just like people say, I want to work with my spouse because I got to live with you and work with you. We're going to bump heads at some point in time.
That's true.
I'm around you too much.
Yeah.
Friend, people the same way.
That's a good point. That's a good point, man. All right, so your advice for guys, or I guess ladies who have just gotten out is, first of all, change your ways, right?
Don't let your situation define you. Use that ground you was knocked down on. Like I tell people that too. If I knock you down on the ground, how do you get up? Use the ground to get up. You don't just stand up like the Undertaker. You push yourself up off the ground, the hard surface of the ground. So the best thing to do is use that to get up and never think it's nothing that I can't do. I don't care. Like I say, I don't care about my felony. I don't care about what you say I am or what you, man, and I'm not giving excuses to nobody. I mean, I'm happy in my marriage. I'm happy with life, even though I've been through some stuff. And like, it might sound a little crazy, but I'm happy about it because I could have been like dead somewhere.
And exactly. Sometimes you have to have something bad to it sounds like a wake up call.
Yeah, and basically giving me a second chance because a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah. All right, so let's hit right on that because someone's watching this and thinking, yeah, this guy, but he had that second chance. What about the people that don't get the second chance from friends, family, whatever? They just got to hold strong.
You don't, but that's the problem. When we start depending on other people gonna let you down. It's like when I met my wife, and she'll tell you this, and we talk about it all the time. She's like, is there anything you want to know about me? I was like, no, nothing, no. I'm gonna see what I want to see and find out what I want to find out when I do. Because we all gonna say what we're willing to do, but until it's time. I can sit here all day and tell you, I'm here for you. Call me.
That's a good point.
Then you call me 3 days later. Hey, can you? Man, I'm busy right now, and I'm such and such right now. And
good point.
So don't even ask for something that's why people don't let me down because I don't even give you that expectation to lift me up or lift yourself up or me. I have a saying with my wife. I say, man, they say life is a game. You play by my rules, we play fair. But if you rewrite the rules, then we're going to play your way, and you ain't not going to like the way I play. Because my way is, I'm going to love you, care for you, be there for you, be supportive of whatever it is you do.
Right.
But if your way is to just use me and get whatever you can get out of me, and I see that, because I'm always watching. It's not, my wife always say, you're nosy. No, I'm not. I'm just watching people.
You're observant, man.
Yeah.
You're very observant.
Because I'm going to sit and watch. If you tell me something, I don't sit back and like wait for you to do it. If you said that, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask you to tell me that. So why Or are you mad because I call you out on your bullshit?
Yeah.
You said it. You could have left it alone, not even brought the shit up, and we could have been fine. But you the one said, "Oh, I'll be there for you whenever you call me." And then I call you, and then you say, "Oh, I can't."
Dude, it goes back to what you said before, which, man, I've never heard someone put it like that. Absolutely excellent. That never say that you would never do something if you were never faced, really, with a decision, with a temptation.
Yeah.
Someone said to me the other day, Rob, you eat so healthy. How do you do it? How's this willpower? I said, well, I don't have willpower. Come to my apartment, I never have cookies. I don't have cake here, because if it's here, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
So the temptation is away from me. Same thing with money or girls on the side or whatever. When you're hit with that temptation, that's when you know who you are.
It's in your nature. It's a man's nature. People can always, I don't know. I tell people this. You know the worst thing that back in, how old are you?
58.
Okay, back when you was a teenager or young man.
Back in the 80s.
So what was the worst thing they could call you?
Something to do with my height. Something to do with
No,
shorty.
I mean, everybody would call, instead of calling you a punk, they would say you a square.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So, do you know what a square is?
I mean, I know what they mean by that.
What do they mean by it?
Well, they just mean that you're kind of, you're very narrow. You're not cool, let's put it that way. You're the opposite of cool.
You know why you're not cool?
No.
Because you're doing everything you're supposed to do. A square is 4 sides to a man. Mentally, emotionally, physically. Right?
Yeah.
So basically, if, like you're saying, if I'm square, I'm equal on all 4 sides, because like you're saying, if you have temptation, and even though you have muscle, the muscles can't help that temptation. Your emotions and your mental has to be right.
That's right.
And if you're mentally strong, you won't get those muscles.
Just mentally strong. That's a good
So
point.
basically, I came up with the thing that I want to be a square. I want to do everything right. I want to be spiritually right, mentally right, emotionally right, and physically right. Yeah. Because, being raised in church, like if the devil comes your way, you can't fight the devil with your physical power. I don't care how many muscles you have.
Absolutely.
You have to be spiritually strong. Then you have to be physically strong to endure, and emotionally and mentally. Because that's why people put bullets in their head.
Good point. Wow. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a question. So, you have a car?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you think well?
I think I do.
You think you do? Okay.
Put me to the test.
Give me 10 parts of your car. Give me 5 parts of your car and their uses.
Parts of my car.
Yeah.
So like the steering wheel steers the car.
Okay.
Okay. The air conditioner controls the temperature. The music controls the mood.
So you can go out there. How long you had that car?
But about 3 months.
About 3 months. Cool. Nice car. So 3 months and you know everything about that car. Right? And you can get in and go anywhere you want to go, right?
That's
Use
correct.
it to its full capability.
As far as I know.
Give me 5 parts of your brain that's capability.
Oh shit.
And you've been with your brain how long?
That's a good point.
That's why I tell people say, I know how to think. No, you don't, because you know why? Not saying that you don't know how to think. You don't know how to think to your full capacity, because you know everything about everything else, but you don't even know about your own brain and how it used. So you can't use something you don't know about.
That's a great point. Because
if you didn't know that car, you couldn't just leave out here and go to the store, because you wouldn't know how to steer.
Right.
You wouldn't know the brake. You wouldn't know so you couldn't use it.
That's a good point. It's like I said before, sometimes you do something like, why did I do that? Or why do I think this way?
Because we don't know where it came from, what part of our brain. First, you have to start with the root of the problem. Where did it come from? Front part of my brain, the cerebellum. Did it come from the back part of my brain, where did it come from?
So where did you get this from? Where did you get this?
This is me just reading and figuring stuff out. It's just like when I told you about breaking myself down. When you break yourself down to nothing, I use the analogy because I used to do real estate. So I use the analogy of, we go by an old house, right? Yeah. That was built in the 70s. They got copper pipes, thick copper wires, right?
Yeah.
And me and you, we're gonna redo this house. So we come in and we just start throwing a recessed lighting and crap and all, like, whatever.
Right.
We update this house, but we never do the pipes or the wiring or the breaker. What happened to this house?
It's gonna burn down.
Same as us, the way we think. If we don't strike out all those old beliefs and we just start using, are we just gonna pick and choose what we want? You're the same person.
Yep.
And you're gonna eventually self-destruct. You have to break yourself all the way down for nothing. And we gotta gut this house. We can use the frame,
Yeah.
but we have to now put new wiring, PVC pipe. Now we can start adding all this updated electrical stove, microwave. Because at first, I mean, we can't do it in an old house because they weren't equipped for that. You're not equipped to even think.
Keep talking. I'm sorry about that.
You're not even equipped to think a certain way if you're still thinking your own way. Schopenhauer said you cannot use the same brain that got you into trouble or into anything to get out of it.
Oh,
You have to change your way of thinking. So back to what you were saying for people that, just getting out or got out and feel like there's no tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
First, you have to start with you. Change your way of thinking. They're not going to give me a chance. Who told you that? You ain't even asked nobody.
That's a good point. All right,
Houston is big as hell. Believe me, it's a good job out there, or it's a way. If you would have prepared yourself like those guys, they love sports. So you have to talk to them like kids and on their level. So I told them, I say, y'all, this is the fourth. This halftime. It's almost the third quarter. When you go back in the game, you ain't gonna be prepared.
Did you end up, or would you ever thought about exactly the stuff you're saying and stuff that's not really available? Well, I guess it's available to some extent in jail. People coming in and helping out. Have you ever thought about? Because I think you'd be a great guy to give back to some of the kids that are reachable. Not everybody's reachable.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought about it, and I was gonna do it. Then COVID happened and stuff, And
you got shit going on. But I mean,
I would love to. That's. I would even start helping the teenagers out here, so they won't even experience that in there.
That's a smart thing. Yeah. All right, so let's do that. So there's two questions I want to ask you regarding books. As a guy who is successful, and I'm saying successful, we've talked about jail and everything, but that is part of your success. That's part of who makes who you are. So as a successful man, what book that you read that kind of made an impact on you?
Dr. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning.
Man's Search for Meaning. Did you read that in, out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the second book I want you to talk about is your book. You're writing a book, are you not?
Yes, sir. Based on a true story.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Describe it a little bit. Is this some of the stuff we talked about?
Basically just kind of how, leading up from how I got started to the incarceration. Excellent.
So listen, sometime in the future, I'm gonna do a video of this guy talking about his book when your book is ready. Your book is not out yet, but it's on its way. All right. Do you have a Facebook page or website, something you want people, because for your artwork, how do they find you?
Works of Cleverness Art.
So they can find you there, they can hire you there if they want to do any kind of art?
Yeah, commission for pieces.
All right. And sometime in the near future, you're going to be doing something to do with cigars and cognac, and dude, this was excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, man.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.